Oh, good morning everybody, and welcome once again to Edge Orchids. It's a terrible day today, the wind's blowing, it's not very warm, it's about 16 degrees, and I've just started working this small greenhouse. You know, I had some cymbidiums that I didn't really want, but it was a shame to throw them away, so I'm trying to bring them on along with some Kingianums and some other stuff anyhow. I've just started in the greenhouse, so we'll just have a look. Well, here we are. I've put some benches up. There's the Delicatum there, followed by some Kingianums, some Pleurosalis, and then these Cymbidiums, which I don't really know what to do with. I've had them all outside all summer, and with the weather getting bad now, I've just brought them all in. But they are all sort of showing new growth. One there, and there, and there, there. All of them was bought from two at the end. They're showing new growth. Now, I don't know what to do with them, to tell you the truth, so if any Cymbidium grower would like to get in touch with me and tell me what to do next, I'd be very appreciative. The old plants I just left them. The old leaves are going yellow, but none of the suitables have gone soft, so I'm pleased about that. But this is what I've done to this greenhouse anyhow. There's plenty more work to do. We've got some piece of wood still on the floor there. Fan's not connected up. There's the Delicatum that I'll give all the Kingianums and the Cymbidiums a good freeze for about a month in winter. Now the Kingianum seems to be growing straight up in these little nettings I've put round. But that's about all I can show you in here, so once again, if anybody can enlighten me on these Cymbidiums, I'd be very grateful to them. Well, we're in the greenhouse now, so let's talk a little bit about rot, crown rot, root rot, etc. What causes it and how can we cure it? Well, crown rot is fairly common in orchids, where it occurs at the base of the plants, you know, where the leaves join the crown. And it's nearly always a fault of the grower. It's caused by allowing water to pool at the base of the leaves and still be there during the night. That is why it's always the best to water early in the morning, and any water that gets into the crown of the plant can be dried by evening. So that's one way to stop getting crown rot. But you might say, well, how about all the plants that you leave outside? You know, they get rained on day in, day out. They never get crown rot. For the simple reason, I think, is that because the water in the crown keeps getting changed by the rain, and it doesn't allow fungi to develop. So in the greenhouse, when you water and you get water in the crown, and you water sort of at midday or in the afternoon, and you leave the water in the crown all day, all night, and the following day, then you're allowing fungi to develop, and this will cause crown rot. You can also get crown rot from standing your plant in water, especially Phragmipediums, or sometimes in the cases of semi-hydroponics, where the water is wicked up towards the plant, and if the plant is planted too deep, that will get the crown, the base of the plant it'll keep it continually wet. So that's another reason why you should be very careful to keep the base of the plants relatively dry. Well, then we get to root rot, which is caused by water which doesn't allow air to get to the plants, which means that the mix that you're putting the plants in is too fine, which makes it soggy, and which in turn cuts off the air to the plants, and this will always give you root rot. So to stop this happening, always make sure you've got a light substrate, so when you water, the water passes through very, very quickly and doesn't create pockets of pool water, which fine medium does, and that allows fungi to develop. So make sure all the water passes through the plant very, very quickly. Keep the bark size correct size, so you can't form these pools of water, and always allow the water to pass through very, very quickly. It'll wet the bark, but that will soon dry up and it will still allow the air to go in. So let's have a look at some root rot. Look at this one. That rotted in the middle of there some 2 or 3 months ago, and we'll have a look at the cues after, and you can see it's now putting up some new growths underneath. So that got treated, and I'll show you what I treated it with, or I'll tell you, or I'll tell you about various ways you can cure it. Now some people use hydrogen peroxide, either 3% or even neat. So when they get crown rot, they just pour a little bit into the crown and it fizzes. You've got to let it stop fizzing, then dry it up, and then put some cinnamon on, and that's another way of curing crown rot. But for want of a better word, I use dragon's blood, and I've mentioned this before, and people ask me what is dragon's blood. Just look it up onto the web. Look up the sap of the Croton lechleri tree, and it'll tell you exactly what it's like, and whether it's a fungicide, miticide, bactericide. It's every one of those things, and it certainly cures rot. I put a drop on here, as I said a bit ago, and you've got all these roots, these new plants growing there. I've got one here which is a cross between Chamberlainianum and Prince Edward of York, which had bad root rot there, and coming through the rot as it's dried up is a new little plant there, and then this new growth has come up by the side of it with another little leaf growing inside there. I've got another one here which is a Path Angel Hair, cross between St Swithin and Sandrianum, and this was just starting for a little bit of root rot. I don't know how it happened, but it did. But I put a drop of dragon's blood in there, and hey presto, we've got another new leaf growing in its place. So I can't speak too much about dragon's blood, and people want to know what it is and where does it comes from, but you can find out on the web. And this is the bottle I use. This is one of the names they call it. Sangre de Drago, 100 ml, and I got it off eBay in the UK, and it cost me about, I think it was 30 quid, but it's well worth it, and it'll last me a few years, that. I mean, 30 quid's not a lot when you pay money for plants, and it cures the problems of it. Well worth every penny. I'll just put another drop in this plant here, and with this pipette, and make sure it doesn't occur again. That's all you need of the dragon's blood, and it'll do the job for you. Well, we'll just see if I've any root rots on any of my frags. We'll just unpot one and have a good look at it. Well, we'll have a look at this frag Ainsworthy Eye, and we'll see what it was. A division I potted up probably last year, and so we'll have a look, see how this one's getting on. Well, that doesn't look too bad. There's a dead root there. They all seem to come right in the middle of the plant, so we'll just pull that off. And there's another one. Well, we'll just see if I've any root rots on any of my frags. We'll just unpot one and have a good look at it. Well, we'll have a look at this frag Ainsworthy Eye, and we'll see what it was. A division I potted up probably last year, and so we'll have a look, see how this one's getting on. Well, that doesn't look too bad. There's a dead root there. They all seem to come right in the middle of the plant, so we'll just pull that off. And there's another one. We'll just make a nice job of them by snipping it. That one's soft there, so we'll nip that off. Don't be frightened of cutting them. It's they'll always grow new roots again. So we'll just get the camera and have a good look at the roots. I don't know whether you can see them from there or not, and I'm not very good at positioning the camera so you can see them. So we'll take it down and have a look. Yeah, the roots on this is looking pretty good. Plenty of new root growth. You can see all the nice tips. Very hairy as well. Plenty of new root growth, and also another growth there, another growth coming up. So that's very nice. It was a single plant when I put it in last year, so it's put this one new growth up here and also starting another one there. So very pleased with that one, and no bad roots apart from 2 or 3. So we'll just pot it up again in the same stuff, which is quite a large bark and loads of growth stones in, but yeah, I think I'll throw this away and put some new stuff in. It's been there about 12 months, so it's about time it got changed. This is the new bark I'll be potting it up into, and it's just it's the Portuguese Pinister bark with couple handfuls of growth stones in it, and that's all. So I'll pot it up in that, and and then it'll just need a good watering.